So what if you could remove all the push and the questions and the objections, or majority of them, on your sales call before the sales call? Well, that's exactly what the power of a homework video can do for you. And that's the process we teach our clients inside of our programs, to have a pre-call process that actually answers all the questions of the prospect in advance of the call. So the call is just about them, their goals, and where they're at, and see if they're a fit for working with you, and vice versa. And in today's video, I'm gonna share with you a review I did of one of our clients' homework videos, where she's answering the questions, planting the right ideas in the mind of the prospect so that they're ready to buy on the call, and get all the objections out of the way in advance so that it's a very effortless sales call. I hope you enjoyed. Take a bunch of notes, try to make your own homework video based on this video, and go out there and start making more sales and changing more lives. Love you so much, and enjoy the video.
The question, can I please get feedback on my draft homework video?
Yeah, it's practicing the script. I've got a placeholder to put in, and I will look a little better, and I won't have my gaming headset on.
Make the circle thing up here. Like mine's like this. Actually, what I did is, you guys can totally steal this idea. I started it here first.
My name's Armin Shafee, and I'm one of the co-founders here at highticketcoaching.com, and I'm going to be your mentor in this journey. And I just want to quickly thank you for considering our program and our team as someone you could trust and something you can use in order for you to achieve your goals, create that job quitting money you want to make, and create the lifestyle you've always dreamed of.
And then I smaller and I moved
some things that I think will be important before your call, so you can prepare yourself for that.
Okay. So that's something you could do as well to just get a better starting point.
My name's Zoe Griffin, and I'm the owner and founder of the Six Figure Coaches.
Yeah, and it's also weird. Your timer's here. It's usually up here.
I will work out what's happening with that. Thank you.
All right. Well, here's the next thing as well. So if you open up this, I realized it's good because it keeps your eye on the time. If you do want to remove it, you just got to go here, preferences, show control menu. Yeah, I turned that off. Show recording time, I turned that off too. If you don't want it on the screen.
No, I don't.
To some degree, sometimes I like it because like I made mine really long. Mine was like 42 minutes. My homework video, I'm like, damn. But like maybe I'm like, let me test it before I re-record it and make it half the time, because maybe in my thing I need more filtration. It's okay if I have a little more friction, but it's really long. But let's hear what you sound like.
Hi everyone, my name's Zoe Griffin, and I'm the owner and founder.
I would also change your mic. You sound like you're on a telephone.
Yeah, I'm going to use a full setup for it. So I've got a proper streaming Twitch mic.
Program. And in this video, I'm going to show you how and why this program has been so successful in helping coaches grow their coaching business, a niche that you struggle to resonate with.
Okay, no sideways text. Okay. Yeah, and the formatting is just throwing me off. Usually the thing you're talking about should be center point, but you said Elizabeth and it's to the right, and the left is it's throwing me off. It's distracting me from listening to you. I would much rather just like center point. If you look at how I structured my testimonial, they're like big picture, right? You got like huge picture of testimonial, picture of the person, and then like just the title and the top. And underneath it, I put like from what to what. At the top, I put what they achieved, and at the bottom, I put what to, like where they came from. And as I spoke, I actually highlighted things. So you see how it's like empty, and then when I say things, you'll see I underline when I say the thing. Right so there.
She started with no offer, no online experience, and she had a fear of marketing and putting herself out there and selling.
What I'm doing is I'm controlling the attention. I'm directing where their eyes are, and that's really like super long, but good, because what you did is you highlighted it, sure, but it's almost like you put it over, so it's like fainted the text. What I would be doing is, and I'll show it to you like this. If I were to make it, I would put like, first of all, like if this is the screen, I put your face here, and then I put the testimonial that she has here, like that. And then I would next to it put the highlighted text written out, the things you want them to notice from it, while this is also highlighted here, like, okay. I would do that. And then I put like her name here. That's kind of a format that I would make more sense looking at.
Would you recommend, did you have multiple images? Did you have the same image on yours?
I didn't share it with you guys because like it's super long and it's harder to do. And you guys can't follow because it's based on data and like I have club, but it's not bad. I mean, so that means her texting would be here, her name would be here, and then you don't have to put all this. You could maybe put it to the right, but I would instead over here write out the highlights. So working with you as and then you read through that. And I would also make it so that when you say it, it shows up, and then the next thing shows up, and the next thing, so that it's only what they see. No, I use Keynote or Google Slide because you can animate.
Yeah, I think I'll move it to Google Slide.
Yeah, and the key is, by the way, how you do that, because what I'm talking about is gonna be more annoying if you try to do like the animation like this, which is like it's an anime. But if you go back, if you do that, actually no, that works. But another way to do it is you could do like this. You could duplicate the slide, and then on one of them you just delete And so like you do it like this and see it also shows up. It might be easier if you can't do it with an individual. That's another way to also animate if you want things to pop up when you speak. Okay. All right.
He's a published author and has years of experience working with people around emotional well-being. When we started working together, Elizabeth knew that perfectionism was holding her back from those important next steps for her business, but she couldn't find a way through it. Well, within 6 weeks of working with us, Elizabeth had let go of her resistance to picking a niche and uncovered the audience that she really wants to work with. And she discovered the power of saying, not yet.
Do you want me to only coach on the script or your tonality and stuff too?
All of it.
Okay. So then you're really monotone. So when something is just the same, sounds the same, you eventually stop listening. You need to have inflection. I mean, the advanced version of the coaching is called inflection. So when I'm saying something like really sad, my voice changes, as you notice. But I really want you to really step up and I'm saying something serious, my voice will change as well. As well, when I'm trying to tell you something that's crazy, if you really want to get this to work, look at all these people. And so this allows the ear of a person to stay with you hooked. If I said everything I just said with the same exact voice, you would never know the difference if I'm saying something really sad or if I'm being really serious right now because you got to make this work, or look at all these crazy people. You're like, what did you just say? Because it all sounded like the same. And because it all sounds the same, nothing sounds important. Like prioritization. If I put on my calendar, everything is important, nothing's important. Same with the voice. If I say nothing with emphasis, that means nothing's important. Everything's the same equal value of what I'm saying. But some things you're trying to emphasize, especially when you're trying to persuade or influence through video or marketing, you emphasize things. I write this way. I'll be like, never, capital letters, because I'll say it like that. I'll be like, never do this. I'll never be like, never do this. Because if I say it like that, you'll be like, all right, it's nonchalant, never do this.
Yeah.
You'll do it. Right. So I call it adding personality to a text, but in a video, it's adding personality. Like you have to have personality because they're also wondering the whole time. Like, just think of it like this. Put yourself in their shoes. You're sitting there watching this video and thinking to yourself, do I want to keep getting more of what I'm seeing right now? Do I want more of this person? Forget about, I have to pay them. Do I even want to see this person, hear this person, see their face, work with them? Like the personality impression they're giving off me. Do I want more of it? So if I get on a call and someone's extremely like abrupt and like, you know, I don't know, like borderline offensive when they're talking, I'm like, I really don't want to get on coaching calls with a person like this. That might throw them off. If I'm like really soft and relaxed, like a marshmallow and falling asleep on the video, I'm going to be like, I can't do this. I need someone who's more like, like showing up. So that's the advanced version, the coaching of it. I could sum it all up in one word: enthusiasm. Have enthusiasm. If you're going to make a video, have enthusiasm.
Be the pro wrestling of it. So exaggerate it a lot more than I would normally do it.
100%. In fact, on videos, like a thing I used to teach in speakers, I'm like, on a stage, everything you do is 10 times dampened. So you got to be 10 times more of anything to get the equal amount of if you were to do it in person, in a video and on stage. So if I'm on stage and normally I'd be like, this is going to be the greatest weekend of your life. Like I could say like, this can be the greatest weekend of your life. On a stage or on a video, I have to be like, this is going to be the greatest weekend of your life. And like, then it's so weird because in the video, it would feel like this. This is going to be the greatest weekend of your life, even though I was yelling. It's just the weirdest thing, but it's so true. So if you're like, imagine this is going to be the greatest weekend of your life. You sound like this on the video. This is going to be like, that's what it's like. Okay. So you really got to amplify.
Amp it up. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Enthusiasm.
The dream for his own business was Rawad. His barriers were not knowing exactly who his audience, understanding of exactly who that.
Yeah, and when you speak, I want you to really get filler words. So you never stop. I think the worst, most awkward feeling is a pause, like an unnecessary pause in the middle of a video. It stops the flow. It's like having the tap running and then like turning it off to do this with the soap and then turning it back on. It's like, keep it running. You know what I mean? Keep it running. Because it's just like, you have to stop washing your hands. So like whenever you're saying it sentence by sentence, I feel like it's choppy. I'm not feeling like I'm with you. Instead of like, just like a robot, like you're saying, just like a robot. When I worked with a robot, here's what happened. And after that happened, this is what happened. Instead, I has to be like, just like Rawad, guys. Like it was crazy. Like when you looked at Rawad, like you got to learn to like fill in words even as you don't know what you're saying. You have to learn to just keep saying stuff that's universally applicable in the middle of saying the script. You also get really good at sales calls this way. So like, just like Rawad, who's like, I'm a bit emotional, not going to lie. And it's crazy. He was really emotional from 0 to 2 weeks. See, I just did a filler word that wasn't in the text, but it's just natural. Like it just came to me to say, you got to practice that. Because I can't be like, I'm a bit emotional. Look at what he said. I'm a bit emotional, not going to lie. From 0 to 2 weeks to 0 to 5 every day to 12 leads with no chase just today. Am I dreaming? Like that's like so like corporate. Imagine I went, because look what he said. This is insane. I'm a bit emotional. I'm not going to lie. He was really emotional, guys. From 0 to 2 weeks to 0 to 5 every single day. Could you imagine that for yourself? And 12 leads with no chase just today. It's insane, isn't it? See how much I'm doing in between?
Yeah.
makes a huge difference. In fact, there's people that have masterminds around just webinars and video marketing, and they'll talk about like insane conversions increases just from small things like saying, isn't that crazy at the end of it? Isn't that crazy? Just like that. So yeah, the small things do matter. Oh, also, I just realized your last format is different than this format. Don't do that. That's really confusing. Keep things consistent. The mind wants to latch onto consistency because it's comfortable. So as soon as you start changing variables, you're literally making their mind run through mental hoops just to watch your video. And it's going to be like, it's going to annoy most people. Like, why is his name now this way and that way? And that one's sideways. Like they're just gonna be so confusing and forget, like they don't want to watch the video. So keep everything consistent. Like make it so like it's like they could fall asleep and they'll still follow, like they're following your path.
Audience and have those paying clients so that he knew exactly any of those. Perhaps you're in the position where you do have some paying clients, but you're not serving who you really want.
Your script is good. It just deliver it better with all the things.
But he wasn't serving the audience that he truly had a passion for. He thought he couldn't reach that audience or that client. So maybe you're in a position where you're
and don't repeat the same thing. So don't say maybe you're in a position twice. You have to change it in terms of how you transition. You don't want to sound like robotics.
Now, perhaps you're wondering, what will I get if I join Six Figure Coaches? As you go through the program, you'll get to deeply know and understand.
That's not what they're wondering.
Okay.
Like they just saw 3 case studies. They're not wondering, what do I get? What are they wondering? They just saw 3 case studies.
Would it work for them?
Sure. But like what first? I show you a bunch of people getting results. What's the first question you ask?
Is it real is my first question. Oh yeah. Does it work? Would that work for me? I think
would that work for me? But more specifically, because you're showing case studies of it working for people just like them. So what's the next question they might have? If I say I'm going to make $1 million a day, what's the first question you're going to ask me?
How?
Exactly. Human nature. The script is not a script. It's human nature. I'm following what naturally a mind would want to think. You just show them 3 case studies. They're wondering how did they get those results. Okay. So the transition should be naturally. All right. And so you're probably seeing all these results and thinking like, how is this even possible? How are they doing this? Well, let me show you exactly why what we do with people works so well and what you get. And then you go and you just framed it as the things you're getting in this program is equivalently the cost of the effect of why these people got what they want, what they got. So the deliverables are framed as why, how you're able to do results instead of just things you're giving people. That's a huge, massive difference, by the way. Just saying, here's what you get versus here's how we helped all these people do this thing. It's like a massive difference of frame.
As you go through the program, you'll get to deeply know and understand your dream client. This is who you'll wake up excited to serve every day.
I'll be super direct with you. You sound like an AI. That's how like perfect your pitch and tone is. Stop.
Yeah, I can really hear it now. I've been trained to deliver like that.
Oh yeah, corporate,
military.
Oh, okay, that makes total sense. Total sense. All right, so that's awesome. Let's take all the other qualities from military for your business and keep the tonality behind.
Yeah, sweet.
Okay.
Of that to the needs of that dream client. You'll have streamlined lead generation systems that are proven ways to reach your audience, to nurture them, and to guide them into becoming paying clients. And you'll be well on your way to a 6-figure coaching business. But what all of this really means is that it gives you freedom. The freedom to have work.
As well, I would show these one at a time as soon as you say. Like when my eyes started going idle on the screen, I started looking at you. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at that, and then I'm not listening to you. And like very quickly, I'm just like zoning out. And then you'll have people that go, "Yeah, I saw it," and then get on the call and they have no idea, don't remember anything other than just a few like things you said. And then you have to actually pitch on the call now, and it's just much harder and doesn't serve the purpose it's supposed to have. Okay.
Your coaches, the key pillars, the important cornerstones of the program that will ensure a successful coaching business for you are
that is good. I remember you hit this on the first try.
Audience mastery. So to make the biggest impact with your coaching, you need to have a good understanding of who you serve and how. This allows you to create the perfect offer to truly help your.
So how are you framing this? Here's the reason why this is going to be so different from anything you've ever tried. We focus on 3 key things that get serious results. You guys got to learn to frame. I had a really good framing training in my elite. Like, this is really important. It was a training for setters, I think. Yeah, I was doing a appointment setter training for someone. And then like pre-frames, reframes, deframes. It's like a habit of language where you control the frame of how people see things. So like a pre-frame is setting the meaning expectation of something before you say it. Example, this one thing is the main reason that took me from 0 to 7 figures. A reframe is the redefining the meaning of something, getting a person to see it differently, changing their belief, which is what we're doing all the time when we're like debating with people. The example is most people think to make more money, they need more sales, but that's not true. You need to make more per sale. That's a reframe. And really that's what a reframe would sound like. The actual reframe is setting an analogy that gets them to go, oh, that, and then they think that. And a deframe is destroying the meaning or importance of something, poking holes in the certainty of the other thing. Number one common thing amongst all struggling businesses is that they charge less than $5,000. I'll just give an example in this video of like just convincing you to like make, charge more. So like these are 3 different angles to how I'm persuading you to see things in a way that'll help you better. Okay. So like that should always be in the way you speak. And so we already have the training. We just got to put it in the course portal. Jen, that and 2 other things we forgot actually this morning that we should put back in the course portal. Let's do that tomorrow. So over here you go. So what makes this like no other program out there? A lot of people ask me, a lot of people always ask me like, hey, how come if it's just another program that shows you how to build a business that this gets such crazy results? Well, there's 3 key reasons. See how I just framed it? I framed it as these 3 things I'm about to show you is the secret sauce to why we're doing some crazy results versus every other thing like us. Do you see how they can't see any other difference now? Because we just focus on audience mastery, aligned outreach, and compassion selling. And when you explain like what each one is, all they're doing in their mind, because you framed it as this is the secret to why we're getting like unordinary results. Their logic is listening to you and justifying to validate what you said. Like, oh, that does make sense. Actually, yeah, I haven't seen other programs focus on audience mastery. They're convincing themselves. You see how that works?
I love it. You're like leading them directly there and not giving them the opportunity to ponder other stuff. Would you go into explaining what those are, or just like
I do a little bit, like just like I was doing with Leonti right now, like audience mastery, right? Here's the problem. Here's the difference of what we do. Problem is everyone's just trying to get everyone in. What we do is we do very targeted message, whatever, right? So like that's what audience mastery, whatever. I'm just making an example. You have to make sense of it. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, the greatest example I have is everyone out there is trying to get appointment setters. And what they do is they put a VA behind their chats and they tell them to follow a check workflow. What we did is we realized a VA is not a salesperson and you need a salesperson in the chat. So we work on building something called high ticket setters, which is like a high ticket closer, but in the chat as a setter. Doesn't that make more sense? And they go, yeah, that makes sense. They're like, yeah, that makes more sense. That's why all the results are crazy. And they convince themselves logically, like, holy crap, that's why I got to do
the way that they reach their audience. And this meant that it not only aligned with the audience's desires, but also resonated with themselves as a coach.
You're doing a job. Just frame it for
When you join the program, you'll get private one-on-one coaching calls with me. These calls are so important for your success, and they remove any barriers that are holding you back from taking action and ultimately creating your own success story. You'll have step-by-step training on how to grow your coaching business.
Really, like this is the place where you can really pitch. You understand? Like on the call, you're very hands-off. If you do what I teach, it's a lot of just like question, curiosity, pushing away, like no pressure. And even when they feel pressure, you relieve it and you just like, but isn't that what you want? So the only place you can really be salesy is in this video. And by salesy, I mean being overly enthusiastic about what you're selling. Like this is where you got to be like, so the first thing you get, that's the reason why all of our clients do so well. Again, I'm always framing is you get one-to-one private coaching with me. Now let me tell you something. If you just got this alone, you wouldn't need anything else. Look how I'm framing it. So if I make everything feel 10 times more valuable, by the end of it, it's going to feel like 50 times, 500 times more valuable than it just like 5 things in a package. It's like 5 things that each thing is crazy. The perceived value heightens. Like the one-on-ones alone, if I just saw you, that's all I would need with you and you would crush it. Okay. But just to make sure that even the one-on-one every now and then, you need a little more, you got a step-by-step training. I'm talking about this. Even if you had no calls with me, the step-by-step training alone, you would do it all on your own. You'd be able to get crazy results. And then imagine along the way, you got people just like you in your journey that are on the journey to freedom that you want. And you get to build a family with them, mastermind with them, learn from them, network with them, maybe partner with some of them. That's why we have the weekly mastermind call. Again, I'm always selling things, right? And if you're watching this, you're like, man, I really hate tech stuff. I agree with you. That's why everything's done. Everything's done for you. Tech stuff in the program. You come in, everything's set up one by one. You don't have to touch anything. And you save hours and if not days and weeks of time. And you get straight to the fun stuff. And you're just going to have a serious community of people just like you that you can call family. You see how I'm selling is so much different. But this is where you're allowed to sell because they can't object to a video screen, right? They can't object to the laptop. No, they can't afford it. Like they can't do that, right? So they're hearing you, they're receiving all of it. This is where you really want to close. Like I was so direct in my homework video. I'm like, look, if you get on the call, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you got to buy on the call. Like I was like, there's 5 different guarantees I'm giving you. Look at all these people. If you're getting on the call, like show up for real. Like, cause I'm like, this is the only place I can just say it's one-way communication. They have to listen.
Awesome. Thank you.
This is when you join the program, we have a kickoff call to get the ball rolling. Then you have a battle plan session where we clearly map your goals.
I love her voice.
You
You could probably do a really good like presidential speech. So in this video, I want you to like make it so personable. Be like, all right, so like maybe everything's perfect. Let's say we ended up saying this is the perfect thing for us and we got to do this. Well, I'm going to show you exactly clearly what happens after you decide to do this. So first of all, we start off with a kickoff call and we do this so that benefit. The kickoff call, so I make sure we start off on the right foot and you're clear on everything. Then we do an initial battle plan session. Let me tell you something. If I just did this alone, I could probably be charging thousands just for these one-on-one sessions. Just this, because I'm building a whole business in one call. Again, frame. I'm a picture frame. Okay, just like everything's frame. But like, and honestly, after that, it's really smooth sailing. Like you can go, right after that battle plan session because everything's laid out for you. I'm using how many senses here? How many impressions? Audio, visual.
All of them. Yeah. Like the way you're talking about this, I'm bored.
You're getting excited. You're getting excited. Like when I'm on sales calls, that's how I'm closing. I can feel the fear and I'm just on the call. I'm like, look, everything you want, everything, this amount of money, the family, the traveling, everything you've ever dreamed of is just right in front of you. And between where you are and the things you want, there's just one thing in the way, a payment. Are you really going to let a payment get in the way of all these things? Let's just get out of the way and get started. So we start getting to work here. And like, yeah.
Are you happy to put on a blonde wig and do it for me?
I should. So you get it?
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, you'll learn in time. Don't worry. Like, nobody compare yourselves to me because even I did myself. I'm like, how the hell did this happen? But just a lot of breakthrough psychology, not sales training, like just people psychology, like persuasion. I used to do breakthroughs with like Tony Robbins style. So I just learned a lot about change aging, like change techniques. Someone's like in a bad place in life. I'm like, I have to change how they think so that I can help them. And I realize in sales, it's the same shit. They just got to pay something at the end of the call. It's literally no different. It's a breakthrough call. So, so just like sell each point. And then you're going to start the training. And once you start the training, you're literally going to feel absolute clarity, peace of mind, relaxed. Everything's going to be step by step. You're going to go through 6 weeks of breakthrough coaching, back-to-back breakthroughs. You're going to get 360 degree support. You'll never feel alone again, ever. And when you get good at that stuff, don't be afraid to throw in some jokes in now. The humor, instant smiles on their face or a little giggle, they'll just make them feel so disarmed by you. You know, like I closed a 20K sell on Friday and I was sitting there and it was just so intense. It was like the guy never paid this much. He had a lot of trust issues with like coaches. And I just throw out a joke every now and then. I'm like, look, I'm going to be on your ass, you know? And I'm like, not like that. I don't know. I'm like, on your ass if you come in here. And he's like, whoa, man. I'm like, not like that. You know, and his wife was there. I'm like, not like that. But, you know, I'll be right there, man. Right behind the ass, you know, or I'll make jokes. Like I need your full, I don't want you to half-ass this. I need both the ass cheeks. I'll make like small things like that. And they'll just giggle. And when they giggling, guess what happens? The buying process or like the selling process feels good.
Yeah.
You go, oh, wow, that's just another dude, just like me, just another girl, like we're having fun.
For your success. You might be thinking, who's Zoe? And why is she the right person to
Now,
help
the
me?
transition here should be, before you go any further, I want to make sure you know who you're going to be working with.
Ooh.
I'm just like you, someone who was exactly where you were and found a way out of it. And that's why I do this. Like, this is me. Here I am. Picture, memory. Reason why I'm doing this, right?
Well, like many of you, I had a successful corporate career and I loved managing teams. But ultimately, climbing the corporate ladder became less and less fulfilling for me. And after being burnt out and experiencing workplace bullying, I decided to start my own business, working directly with coaches and helping them with marketing and business strategy. So that's me in the bottom corner on a set of one of my clients' talk shows. So I loved the freedom of having my own business. I loved choosing my clients, setting my own hours and working from whatever location I wanted. What I really fell in love with was the coaching side. So I actually decided to become a certified coach. And after coaching several clients, I realized I could have a much bigger impact on the world.
Are you teaching them to be certified?
No.
Be careful.
Just drop it? Okay.
And don't say, you know why? Every mind is so sensitive. They're going to think after this video, I can't do this unless I'm a certified coach. You lose everybody.
Got it.
Because they're thinking, how am I going to be like you? You can't put obstacles in their way. And in a weird way, I almost try to not speak too good because they might think I have to speak like this to be successful. It's so weird, man. But that's how they think.
When you're influencing in that kind of way, people are vulnerable to any suggestion.
Yeah. And so like, that's the suggestion. It's like, you decide to be a certified coach. Now they're all going to buy a certification program, not yours. So it's not bad. I'm going to show you a story I did, and I want you to know the difference. Like, you don't have to copy me, but like, just take the principles from like how deep I made the story. I strategically placed it after a Q&A question. Like, I put up an objection. You don't have to do it this way, but I just want to show you, like, so that you guys can get some ideas. Like, I put up a question, like on a thing that they might be worried about. I overcame it, and then I transitioned into a story. That's how I ended up. So watch.
And I want you to know that almost all of our clients have never ran a business or done sales before they started with us. And this is based on actual data. So you don't have to worry. If they can do it, you can do it. And also, every successful entrepreneur started with no experience, right? Including me.
Yeah, how seamless that transition was?
They
don't even know they're now in a storytelling part of this training. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how good you got to get. You got to get like they didn't even notice. That's a good story when you don't even notice. When you're in a movie and you forget like 2 hours pass by, you're like, that was such a good movie. I forgot I was sitting here. That's what a good piece of content is. So look at the transition.
And also, every successful entrepreneur started with no experience, right? Including me. I mean, guys, I was born into a poor immigrant family. My mom worked 2 jobs. My dad had 3 failed businesses. We lived in a neighborhood where my brother was getting beat up every day.
Take note of my voice inflections. Take note of how I'm moving in the camera. Very engaging.
The wrong people growing up. Like, this was the kid that you're seeing right now on screen. And when I was growing up, there was nothing in my environment telling me that I can do this. In fact, everything in my environment was telling me you can't do this and you're going to end up in a bad place in life. Everyone around me, all the evidence in my life was telling me you can't do anything. And I did the 9 to 5 thing. I did the 9 to 9 thing. I had a 9 to 9 corporate job. I moved out away from my family. I tried to work the job thing and submit reports every day and, answer to a boss. And, it was fine. I made some money. Sure. And this is the trap, right? Like you make some money, but ultimately I felt empty and I felt lost and unhappy. Every day I wake up like, I don't like what I'm doing. And I didn't know what to do about it. It was the scariest
Now,
thing.
these are
I knew.
partial truths of my journey. My journey wasn't about these things, but I know that's what their journey is about. And at the same time, I felt these things, but the primary motive and what I went through was very different than what most people go through. My job, though, my moral responsibilities when I'm telling these stories is I make it as relevant as possible to them because it's about them, not about me. So I just emphasize the part of the stories of what I went through for them. It's not about me. It seems like I'm talking about me, but I'm actually doing what? I'm being a symbol of possibility for them. I'm relating to them. I'm saying the words that they're thinking in their mind.
I needed the money, but I also didn't feel good. And I'm like, what's more important? Making money or feeling good about my life? And it sucked. And it's like, if you're going through that, I really feel for you.
Now, I can speak like Barack Obama if I really wanted to. How many times though am I mumbling or like saying something over and over? I need to sound real. I've done motivational speeches. Like this sounds like a kid. I'm not saying you should sound like a kid, but I sound harmless. That's the point I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You ever seen Russell? He's just like, that's not how he is. If you ever meet him in person, he's a very professional person. You shake his hand. He's like, oh man, that's really awesome, brother. Like, like well spoken. And he's on stage. And then I was thinking, and I'm horse blinders, giants. And I'm like, it's because he wants to look like a 6-year-old because everyone's disarmed. Everybody's thinking this guy can't hurt me, so I'll pay him a lot of money. They trust him. So you have to purposely sound like you're not that good. Or if you're just a little good, you don't even know you're that good. So look how I delivered this. And I go into the emotional part of the story.
I like it. I was going through a hard time, went through multiple depressions, picked up terrible habits because I was unhappy. There's no such thing as even bad habits, by the way. If you do drugs or drinking or pornography, people do a lot of these things. It's not because you're a bad person or you're doing bad stuff. It's because you have pain. And when you have pain inside, you're trying to find a distraction first. So I realized nothing's wrong with me. It's just my decisions have put me in a trap where I wasn't happy with who I was. And so fast forward to today, and I did the thing I thought I'd never be able to do. And I took a shot at it. I became the first millionaire in my family, guys. And that was something special for me. It wasn't about the money at all. It was that I could show my brother.
Something more emotional. I stopped. That's the place where pausing is okay. I'm like that. Keep watching.
My mom, I could show my family like, hey, it's possible. Actually, since then, I've hired a lot of people from my family in my company.
I didn't say I hired a lot of people. I said I hired a lot. There's so much difference in the flexion of the voice. I'm emphasizing things. The tone. I'm bringing the emotion out of you with how I say it. I get to control your experience of what you're hearing, how you're going through this by how I'm saying it.
Loving what they
do. I even put an emoji there. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm really
inspired. Like me making this work, me deciding to start, to go get clients, to build a business. It didn't just influence my life. It didn't just change my life. It changed everyone around me. And this is why I really do this, why we want to help people do this. This is my brother on the left side. I love him to death. My mom on the right side. Me and my brother never had a relationship. And he's an entrepreneur now. And like we jam out all the time. We hang out. He comes in my villa. I'm
showcasing things that they're dreaming about that they think the money they make will help them get. I also notice I stutter and I bring up things that are emotional, like, oh, that's my brother. I'm not saying that's like like I'm an actor. I'm saying I'm so conscious of knowing when I'm tapping into an emotion when I speak, I physically change how I say it, right?
Yeah.
Fun. I go to his cottages. But all this, we were a time where we were poor and we were going through this and we had to get out. My mom on the right side, me and her had a terrible relationship because money was always a stressor in the family. She never had time to be my mom.
Terrible facial expressions. It's engaging. I'm expressive. Expression creates engagement.
Never can respect her because as a kid I didn't know like how much stress she was going through about money and mortgages and all this stuff, and it's insane because I as soon as I got there I decided I'm going to take everyone I can with me. This is my team on stage the year after, winning another $1 million, and we've made over $4.5 million now and won so many of these awards, and we took our clients with us as well, and like tons of people that were helping, and there's just few of them helping break that barrier, that limiting belief, that go against the odds, be different, stand out, live a life that's filled with courage and meaning and impact.
This is where it gets really emotional. So if you do like a connection with the prospect, this is how you want to land it.
And that said, I wish I had started sooner. And I didn't think I'd get emotional about this. I wish I had started sooner because I was a little too late in my life. This is my dad.
And when I started, I didn't know what I was doing. It took me 3-4 years to crack the code on this business thing. And I had worked 12, 15 hours a day because everything was just guessing and trying. And at the time he was alive and he was struggling to just pay bills for us. And right as soon as I was getting this thing off the ground, we found out he had cancer. And on the left side, you can see I'm at the funeral with him and I'm holding my mom, and that's his grave, obviously. And the picture you're seeing right here is the last day I had with him before he was admitted to the hospital and just pretty much never got out. He had 9 months to live, stage 4 cancer. And I just got my thing off the ground. I was thinking, I'm going to show him the world. I'm going to take him around. I'm going to show him a life. I'm going to show him, I'm making him proud of me. And I never got to it. He passed away before the first million I made. He passed away before I can change my family's life. He passed away before I became this man. Part of my heart always wishes he was around so I could just give him a hug and be like, look, Dad, I did, and invite him to my villa, and he's not here anymore. And I don't want to get all soppy on you or anything. I just want to show you the real stuff in life. This is the real cost of life. It's not about how much money you could be making. Sure, that's a cost. It's not about, oh, there's a lot of programs you could do this. It's not about any of this. It's not even about the money. Because at that time, if I had the kind of money I had now and the business I had in place, and if I knew everything I knew now after I decided to focus on one mentor and just going all in, maybe he'd be alive today because I could have hired the best specialist in the world, or maybe I could have had more time with him before he passed. So I'm just telling you this because don't wait. Because one day it may be too late. Maybe too late for you. Maybe too late for mom, dad, brother, sister, your kids. Might be too late for that friend you wanted to help. Might be too late for the grandma or grandma. It might be too late. I know it was for me, and I'm not sad about it. It built character in me, and I love him to death, and his spirit is with me all the time. But I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't sometimes wish he was around so he could see all this. I know some part of my heart he believes. He knows this is happening. I knew he always knew, but I'm still human, and so are you. So if you see everything you need to see, and you think this is for you and resonates with you, and you get on this call and this is the right thing to do for you, just do what you know is right for you. I just want to wait because you never know if it's too late. I love you lots. Have a beautiful, beautiful time, my team on the call. We have a good time. Show up with a big heart. And let's see if we can spend the next 6 months together and build a life-changing business for you so you can make a difference and impact and meaning out of your life and for those around you. I want to make the rest of your day the best of your day. The whole call was logical. A lot of answering questions, proving things, showing things. And with this emotional note, the last thing they feel, connection. Usually this will help a person get on a call if they get to the end. The only trouble I'm facing with this is long. I don't even know if people get to the end, but that's the point of telling a story, evoking emotion. And it's less about your story and more about how they play in your story. I didn't grow up needing, obviously I'm human, I did, but like it wasn't ever like a thing for me. Oh, I wish my dad was proud of me. No, my mental attitude was always like, it doesn't matter to me, but I also love him and like, sure, he's proud of me. But I know that's what they're feeling. So even if 1% of me feels that, I go, okay, let me make it 100% because that's what they need to do. They need to see the guy that they're about to learn from knows what they feel like. You guys need to become selfless. Tell stories in the eye of them. What they want to know is like, technically they're watching this video and they're considering working with this person, you, that is potentially in the place they want to be. So the more they feel that you understand them and you've been there and you've been through all the stuff they're going through, the more certainty and confidence and conviction they have in doing this with you. The less relatable they feel, the less they think this, it was just your story, not mine. So my story felt like their story. I'd probably touch a lot of sons' hearts that want to make their dads proud. A lot of daughters' hearts that want to make their dads proud. A lot of dads that want to make their son proud. Like I probably touch a lot of people's different hearts. Okay.
Got it.
Is that helpful?
I like that.
Helpful? You're going to go do
Yeah, that's unreal.